Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife video for you. Today we have another little collection update. This time it's going to be American-made knives. I'm trying to think of an interesting way to split these up. All these collection update videos, you guys have been asking for them for quite a while. And I just want to do something more interesting than just saying, oh, here's my folders, here's my fixed blades. That would be a very short video. I have hardly any of them. Here's my slip joints, whatever. But instead, I just did a Spyderco one because that's the only brand I really had enough to do a whole video about. And now we're going to do American-made knives, not American-designed, but American-made knives. I will say the Spydercos are not in this because they were in the last one. So I do have several American-made Spydercos. They are not in this video. If you want to see those, go back and watch the Spyderco one I posted like 3 days ago. Let's get going with the American-made stuff. I will say right off the bat, a lot of my favorite knives are in this. I know I just did a whole video talking about how Chinese knives are not junk, but it just happens to be currently a lot of my really absolute favorites are American. It's just it just happens to be the way. But there's a few Chinese ones that are in my favorites list as well. But a lot of these are kind of my favorites. So if you hear me say a lot, this is one of my favorites. Just letting you know, there are a lot of knives in here I really, really like. First up, this is one that definitely qualifies for that. You guys have seen this on the channel a lot. This is the most expensive knife that I own. This is the Hinderer half track. This is the full titanium version of that from USA Made Blade. It's their USA Made Blade exclusive with the 20CV Spanto and full titanium. I really, 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 really like this. This was something that Woody from USA Made Blade convinced me to get. I had a Hinderer 3-inch XM18 I did not particularly care for. I've tried a couple different versions of that. I just don't, that knife just doesn't, I don't know, that shape and stuff just doesn't do it for me. But this really does. He said this was his favorite Hinderer at the time, so he sent me this one, and I really, really like it. It's very, very cool. For my long fingers, that thicker handle just works a lot better. And the action is great. It's on the tri-way pivot. This is off the Gen 2. So it runs on bearings. You're gonna see another Hinderer tri-way here too. All the tri-way Hinderers I've had, I run on the bearings all the time. It's just I don't do stuff in sand and whatnot where I have to worry about stuff getting in the bearings. So I'm completely fine with the bearings, and I think they run the smoothest on that. Action is great. Just a fantastic knife, but I believe when these were available, they were like $575. Not inexpensive at all. They're not available currently. I don't know if Woody plans on bringing them back again or not, but it is a bit heavy. Only downside, but yeah, you can get it with the G10 instead, and it makes it significantly lighter. I don't remember what the exact weight is, but I did a whole review, and all the reviews, these are going to be linked down below, by the way, so you can check that out. Next up, another Hinderer, and this was just added to the collection. Honestly, part of the reason why I didn't do this video first was because I knew this was coming, and I knew it was one that was going to be a permanent addition to the collection, and it definitely will be. Maybe not in this color, but this is a USA Made Blade loaner, and I have the option to buy it. I probably will and just dye the scales, but I could also just send it back and wait until they have the version that I want back in stock. But this is the brand new Hinder Eclipse 3.0 or 3-inch, depending on I think they're kind of a bit loosey-goosey with what it's called. But it is, yeah, I call it 3.0, but a very, very cool knife. Again, running on the tri-way, again, running on the bearings. What I like about it is it's just a bit bigger than what you get on the XM18 3-inch or even on the half track, and it's just fits my hand really well. Again, 3-inch blade. I do live in a place that technically you're supposed to have a 3-inch, no more than a 3-inch blade. So I do like a really good 3-inch blade knife, and especially a hardcore one. And I've just become kind of a Hinderer guy. I don't know what, said multiple times, I don't know how that happened. I don't like big bulky knives except Hinderers. It's just a weird thing. I guess it's not just Hinderers, but it's mostly just, yeah, I just really fell in love with Hinderers over the last year and a half or so, and I really, really like this knife a whole lot. It's I've only had it for a day, but I know I'm going to wind up with one in the collection, so that's why I'm including it in here. Awesome action. Just listen to that. So snappy, so cool. I really do like that. Now, next on, we will move on to half a Hinderer. This is a zero tolerance 0562 tie. This is one that I have to thank you guys. I wish I remember who specifically it was who started that thread in a comments on one of my messages. I had the XM18 3-inch. I didn't really care for it. I said I sold it and said I was gonna get a full 3.5-inch XM18, which was $500 or so. So I was kind of hemming and hawing about it. Somebody said, it's for $280 what this costs. Oh, by the way, this is $375 if I didn't point that out in the base form. But somebody pointed out, hey, they just came out with this new full tie 0562. Why don't you check that out? It's a Hinderer design. It is basically ZT's version of the XM18. So I said, oh yeah, I'll give it a shot, and thinking I would probably get it and be like, okay, the size is good, and then sell it and get a regular XM18. And you know what? I like this better than the XM18. I just do. 20 CV steel, super comfortable in the hand, which the XM18 was never that comfortable, even the 3.5-inch. The jimping is less jimptastic. There's no G10 roughness or anything, obviously, because it's full tie. I like the look of the black on the gray. I've thought about getting it anodized, but I just never have. If I did, I'd probably get it like a blue or something like that. But I don't know. I just really like the way that it looks. Some people don't like the black hardware. I think it looks great, and the action is just. And listen to that sound. Oh my God! Like, you never get tired of that. Who's ever gonna get tired of that noise? It's great. As I've said before, it has that racking a shotgun sort of sound. If you pull this out and flick it out, somebody's gonna get scared. I really do like it. It's one of my very favorite knives that I own. It's just, it gets a whole ton of pocket time. This one is extremely well broken in, so I can't guarantee out of the box yours is gonna work as well as this one, but it's gonna be close, and give it some time and they become just amazing. Now we will move on. Also, I'm trying to keep these somewhat familial, trying to keep some sort of semblance of an order. So next up, another one of my favorite USA made knives. This is the Kershaw Bareknuckle. This is another knife like the other one, like the 0562 tie I just showed. Yeah, you gotta wait till these break in, man, and they are awesome. Yeah, and this is what, an $80 knife? I think these are like $80. 12C28 steel, one of my favorite budget steels. Very thin, very slim, very easy to carry. I love this thing. The Bareknuckle is just fantastic. I really wish they do the blacked out M390 version that they do on everything else. Well, they don't black out the blade, but you know, the black handle M391. Oh my guys, come on, hurry up. I really expected to see that at Blade Show, and it wasn't there. I was highly disappointed. Subframe lock based on the 0777, hence the name 7777. I love it. A couple people complain about, you know, that death lock if you even touch the lock bar. Well, first of all, don't do that. It's not hard not to do it. And B, mine will still open when I'm touching the lock bar, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm very much in love with the Bareknuckle. One of the best things that's ever had the Kershaw name on it, by far. Pocket clip isn't the most amazing thing in the world. A little small, and it's recessed, so sliding it out of your pocket is a bit of a thing if you got thick jeans on. But other than that, I just absolutely love the Bareknuckle. Love the steel, love the action, love almost everything about it except that clip. And the clip I don't hate. Next up, let's go to oh, what are we gonna do next? Everything else I only have twos of. So what company do we want to do twos of? I don't think people realize I own two of these, so we'll do this one next. Next up will be my Protec. This is the Protec Ferrum Forge Mordax, produced by Drop. This is a prototype, but it is mine. It is going to get sent back, and I am going to get a production one just because I want to put it in videos a lot, so I want to have a production one. This has been used a lot by me and by the people who are doing the prototype. You can see it's gotten a little scuffed up on the aluminum handles. This one has not been treated very nicely, but I do love it. The action on it is so good. It's so smooth. 20 CV again. Man, it seems to be a whole lot of 20 CV on this, but the action is just ridiculous on this thing. It's so cool. Nice big knife. Ferrum Forge shape with Protec construction. What can you What can you complain about? Really do like it. It's not an auto. I know Protec's mostly known for autos. We're going to show one of their autos here in just a mere seconds. But recessed screws in the pocket clip. There's just so much to love about this knife. I just really, really like it. It's been a great knife. I use it without any hesitation because it's a prototype. So if it gets more beat up, it just gets more beat up, and I don't really care. And yeah, it looked used when I got it, and now I've made it look more used. So that's completely fine with me. But yeah, fantastic, fantastic knife. I can't remember what these cost. Somewhere in the mid 200s, I think. Were they 220, 240? I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly what they are. Next up, my only auto, because I live in New York State, I am not allowed to carry this outside of my house, unfortunately. By law, it's a felony, I do believe, if I left my house with this. But Protec let me borrow this at Blade Show, and kind of an undetermined length of borrowing. So I'm going to send it off to another reviewer to get reviewed. He'll be getting it very shortly. I'm sorry I haven't sent it out yet. I was holding it for this thing. But this I do definitely consider mine, even though I'm not really sure it is or not. But this is the Protec SBR. Oh, I love this thing. 180 bucks. And if I was allowed to carry this outside my house, I'd have this in my pocket almost every damn day. Just a super snappy auto. Oh my God, listen to that noise. That is awesome. Super ergonomic, less George design. S35EN steel. Very comfortable in the hand for the size that it is. Very, very comfortable. The blade is only, what, 2.5? 2.5, 2 3/4 inch blade. Again, I'm going to link to all the reviews down below where I will have the stats correct in those. But man, again, the recessed pocket screws, and the deep carry clip. Super nice knife to carry, super nice knife to use. Not usually a huge green fan, but I like this green. This green looks cool. And this kind of acid wash looking blade. I love this thing. SBR is a fantastic little automatic. Next up let's do the Benchmades. I'm down to only 2 at the moment, but this is going to change. And I almost held back on this because I do have 2 more Benchmades that I'm planning on getting in the next couple weeks. So we will see if that comes off and I get them. But right now I'm only down to 2. I'm very kind of sad about that. I sold my Anthem because I had some bills to pay. I sold my 940 because it became worth more than for me to carry it. So because it was a rare one. But the 2 that I do have now are the Superfreak. Of course, I'm a YouTuber. You have to have a Superfreak. I think it's required now. I believe it's in the terms of service on YouTube now that if you're going to do knife reviews, you must own a Superfreak. I think that's kind of the way it is now. M4 steel. I love the look of the handles. It's super ergonomic. It's just such a comfortable knife to use. The DLC coating or Cerakote, I guess this is, coating has held up extremely well. I use the coated deep carry pocket clip, not the painted one. I got one of those. I can't remember what I got it from, but it's a great pocket clip. I know they charge for them now, but who cares? They don't charge hardly anything for them. It takes a minute to get them, but that's fine with me. I don't really care. And action is just great. It's just I love this very, very much. Enough that you guys have probably noticed I don't have my Hogue Ritter RSK anymore. Which, even though I said it won in a contest, the Ritter, and I still stand by that. I think probably the Ritter RSK is probably a little better value, but I don't know. This one, just my hands, it just fits me better, and I just enjoy carrying it better. So that's the one that I wound up keeping. But probably for most people, you should get the RSK. But this is just fantastic. And you're gonna be able to get this a lot easier. The RSKs are continually back ordered. If you just want to get something now in this size category, get the Superfreak. It is an amazing knife. I know that's not what it's called, 566 BK dash or 5, I don't remember. I think it's 566. I don't know, BK-1, whatever the hell it is. It's a great knife, whatever its name may be. And I think these are 188, something like that, 190. I'm going to be way off on prices. I'm just kind of trying to do this from memory. Next up is, of course, I have a bug out. I have a Benchmade bug out, of course. This is another one you're required to have. I love the Benchmade bug out. One of the best lightweight knives you can possibly buy. Fantastic knife, S30V, 114 bucks. Good enough ergos. They're not perfect, but pretty good ergos. Nothing really special about it looks-wise. This is the original one, and I still like the original one the best. I didn't care for the green one. Obviously, I don't like green. And then Benchmade, Blade HQ did the blackout version, which was cool, but I don't care for coated blades unless I have to have it. I think that Superfreak I just showed you is one of like 2 or 3 maybe coated blades that I have. I'm not a big fan of those. Yeah, I think I only have 3. But I just like the look of the original one the best. And you can get all kinds. This thing is like modder's dream. If you want to change the scales, change the hardware, change almost anything about it other than its gender, I guess you can find it online. Just a great knife. Action's good. Still feels like a Benchmade. Thumb stud deployment. All this, it's a fantastic one knife, and it weighs like nothing. What are these, like 1.8 ounces, 1.6, something like that? They're ridiculously light, silly light. Next up, we will do the TRMs, and I know these are always very popular on the show. I only have 2, but that's because I auctioned one off for charity, and thank you guys so much for being so generous with that. I got very good money for it, and I was very happy about that. So I used to have a TRM Neutron. I still love it. I would love to have another one. But that was one that I just knew would draw a lot of money for the charity that I was trying to raise money for, so I auctioned it off. So now I only have 2. But they're my 2 favorites. We have, first up, the Atom. I just got this at Blade Show. I'd ordered it. I picked it up at Blade Show. I had to get in the lottery just like everybody else, and then I picked it up at Blade Show. Wow. This is one of those knives that I thought, well, what do you do? What do you do after this? You know, it's so light. They nested the liners now, so that's one of the differences from the Neutron. It is not just a big Neutron. Again, I'm going to link to the reviews down below. Watch all that. Contoured handles. It's very comfortable in the hand. Super thin, super slicey blade. It carries great. It weighs nothing. It's really good. Running on phosphor bronze washers, thumb stud deployment, as you see, no flipper tab. As a reviewer, you get flipper fatigue sometimes, so it's nice to have stuff that doesn't have a flipper tab, just to change things up. And this is one of my favorite non-flipper knives. It's just nice deep carry clip. Great thing, and they're coming out with other cooler stuff, which kind of leads me to the next thing, because this will kind of lead into some of the cooler stuff they've got coming out, in case you're not on Instagram or their Facebook group and you don't see it. This is another one of my favorite knives. This is the TRMM Atlas. Just a little slip joint, but as I've mentioned multiple times, I do travel to Europe usually once a year. Not sure I'm going next year, but I usually go once a year for a month or so, and their knife laws are weird, and I love the Atlas for that. Like, this is the only knife I brought with me last year, and it worked great. It's totally legal in Germany. One hand open, but not locking. Germany has a weird law where you can have one hand open or locking, but not both. It's so odd. So this fits the law, and even though it's a small little sucker, it fits in the hand really well. It's all I need when I'm doing something like that, or I'm just, traveling. It's all I ever need, and it's just one of my favorites. Now, they are coming out with a new knife called the Nerd in roughly this same size category that is going to be one hand open and locking, and very interested to see that with contoured scales and all that stuff. Very interested to see what that's going to be like. I'm sure that one's going to sell out very quickly, as all TRMs do. That's the only downside of TRM. They are a bit harder to get, but they're working on it. They'll get easier. This has definitely seen some use, but I really do like this knife. The Atlas is just a fantastic knife. Both these have the carbon scales. You can swap them easily. I have other scales for both. I have the white G10 for this, which were only on it when it came out of the box, and I switched them immediately. And then I have some other ones coming for this. I'm not sure which ones yet, but yeah. Very cool knife. Next up, let's do another brand that I sort of have 2 of, but you guys are going to get one of them. So if you stuck in here long enough, I'm just going to be a little tease. So Southern Grind. I have a Southern Grind SpiderMonkey. This is mine. This is the carbon fiber version. I love the SpiderMonkey. I did a whole video about how I walked into Blade HQ expecting to buy something else and wound up buying this, and don't regret it a tiny little bit. Very, very much. And Melinda, who works there, convinced me to try one, and she was right. They're fantastic. But currently I have two, but the other one is going to be yours. Not you, Andy. I don't know. I just picked a name. Like I'm talking to somebody individually. Not you, Andy. You're a jerk. But no, anyone not named Andy, actually, you can be named Andy. This is going to be part of my 10,000 subscriber giveaway. This is the USA Made Blade exclusive version. I know I'm saying USA Made Blade a lot, but that's just happens to be, it's American made stuff, and when I'm getting American made stuff, I deal with them as often as possible, so that's why. But they sent this along to me to review, and it was a gift, so I'm passing it on to you guys. So this is the red G10 exclusive version from USA Made Blade. So if you want to win it, help me hit 10,000 subs. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your ex-girlfriends, tell your ex-wives, tell people you see on the street, tell that weird guy behind the counter at the corner store. Just tell everybody, go ahead and subscribe to Slicey Dicey. And when I hit 10,000 subs, which I'm at like 95 something right now, 9,500 and something, I'm gonna give this away. Very, very cool Southern Grind knives. Though, if you don't know anything about Southern Grind, not only is it a good knife, S35VN, USA made, obviously, because it's in this video, extremely good quality, but a portion of their proceeds go to the Southern Ground camp that they run. It's owned by Zach. We have Zach Brown. Name almost escaped me for a moment there. It's a really cool camp that does... They take in kids with neurological disorders, children of veterans, stuff like that, and a significant portion of their proceeds all go to that. So not only are you getting an awesome knife with really good ergos, some of the best phosphor bronze washer actions that you're ever going to see, but you're also helping kids. What can you complain about that? And they're not horribly expensive. I think even in this carbon version, they're like $220, something like that, maybe a bit more. But I know the USA Made Blade version that I just showed you is $200 in this particular configuration. It's a bit more if you get the DLC, but yeah, awesome company, awesome knife, and one that you see often in my most carried videos, because I just do really like, it's just a great EDC size and feel, and just a really cool knife. Now, what do we have left? Let's do... Okay, let's do I do have a case. I know everybody says, where are your cases? You don't like traditionals. I do like traditionals. I don't have a lot of them, but yeah, I do have a case. This is the Mini Trapper in the chestnut bone, I think it was called. The color of it. I just thought it was super pretty. And at the time, as I just screwed that up, because I just cut my fingernails. That was stupid to do before I did a video of traditionals in it. At the time I had a matching trapper lock. And so I wanted a matching one. I wound up selling the other one. I like this one better. This is just a nice little classy. And they're not expensive. I don't remember what this was. I don't know if you can get the chestnut bone anymore. I think this was a limited thing. But I live right near Case, and I'm really surprised I had never gone down there. They're only about 3 hours away. I should probably drive down there and check out their little store and museum and stuff. Very, very cool little knife. I do like this a lot. I don't carry it a ton, but sometimes when I want something super unintimidating. Next up, we're going to do... Here's an interesting one. We only have a couple left now. This is one I just got and did a review on. The S&W Metalworks Go-To. It's just a cool little design. It's got this... It's kind of a slip joint, but it's got that little spring built into the blade. I think it's pretty neat. 1095 steel. They are only $50 too. They're not horribly expensive, and they are coming out with more versions with different steels and different handle materials. This is just a mild steel handle, a bit heavy for what it is. You can't take it apart. I'm not sure if they're changing that in the new ones. You can adjust the pivot, but you can't get it apart. As you can see, that other side's kind of pressed into there. But yeah, just a neat little knife. I like it. There's a whole review. I'll post that down below. Next up, this is the Buck 112 Slim. Just a cool, inexpensive little knife. What are these, 20 bucks? Something like that? I don't even know what they are. A little lockback. Do I carry it much? No, but it kind of floats around and it gets used by the family and stuff now. Not one of my absolute favorites by any means, but it's all right. I like it, except that clip. I blame Cedric and Ada for telling me that this looks like a face. That bothers me, but cool little knife. I don't hate it. I don't love it either. This last one, this is one that I need you guys' help with because I don't know exactly what it is. I know it's a Gerber. I don't know how I acquired it. One day I just had it, and I don't know where it came from. It's not an LST, but it's very similar to the LST, but it's bigger than the LST. But it is USA made. It's definitely older because it's definitely discontinued. It's not on their site anymore. I don't know what it is. I did find a couple years ago, I did manage to find it on eBay, and I forgot to write down what the name of it was. But it's just a little lockback. I assume it's 420 because that's mostly what they use, but it does say Portland, Oregon on it, so I know it was made here. It's a nice little knife. It's one that I usually, honestly, I had to retrieve this out of my junk drawer. It sits in there a lot, so it does get used and stuff. It's very comfortable in the hand and everything. No pocket clip or nothing, but it's very comfortable. But I don't know what it is. If you guys have stuck around this long, and I can ask one more favor after sticking around for 26.5 minutes, can somebody tell me what the hell this thing is? And put it in the comments, and I will pin it. I've never done a video about it because I don't know what it is. Like I said, I found it once, and now I can't find it anymore. But man, it is really comfortable in the hand. It's a nice little knife. It's an older Gerber. I think it's from before Gerber had the issues that they are in the process of getting over. Because man, it's really comfortable. It seems pretty well made. This little plastic handle thing, but I have no idea what it is. So if you guys can let me know. That's it on that mystery. We're gonna end this video. Thank you guys so much for sticking in the whole time. If you did, if you didn't, you won't know that I said this. So. Hope you guys have a good one, except for the guys who didn't stick around the whole time. I've been Brian. Have a good one.